Hello, Fightful Faithful. Welcome to another episode of the Sour Grapes Tuesday show about NXT. We have a special guest because NXT tonight had a special guest. I'm here with Kate as always, and as sometimes Sean Rossap. And Sean is here to field questions about, my immediate thought when this thing happened was, and I said it out loud, was, well, that was fast. Ricky Starks debuted in the crowd tonight. Notably, they did not mention him by name. The crowd did over and over again, but they did not. So I don't know if that's still up in the air, working through trademarks or whatever, but we know it's Ricky Starks. The crowd knew it was Ricky Starks. They chanted his name a lot. Ricky Starks is NXT bound. Sean, what do you know?
Those that don't watch this show, if you subscribe to Fightful Select, you'll hear a lot of what I'm going to say here, but going to give an update on Fightful Select. But that was not by accident, the name thing. I don't know if that is to, name him Trill Williams or Reno Higgins or whatever the hell.
Hayes Jameson. He's
Hayes
the one who's going to be
Jameson.
Hayes Jameson.
Hayes Jameson. Yeah, what's the worst that could happen when you Google those two names together? I don't know.
Certainly nothing of consequence.
Nothing of consequence. So there you go. But this deal came together, obviously, very, very quickly. I can't speak to exactly when it was that. Well, I don't know what that was about, Kate. Why'd you just rip in my ear? What was that? Oh, she's frozen. Let's go. Let's go. I knew it. Stop clicking your mic, Kate. Anyway, that was very distracting.
I was turning you up, actually, because I wanted to hear you. I did not realize the audio was not going through my microphone.
Yeah, that's usually the case. But anyway.
Aggressive.
I had heard Friday that AEW releases were either happening or coming. At that moment, I thought it was just the Bear Boulder situation, which they fortunately very quickly took care of. I had heard for a while that within AEW they had at least considered releasing or letting contracts lapse on a few talent that were not happy and wanted to go elsewhere. At one point, they considered Rey Fenix. They didn't end up doing that, but they did remove Ricky Starks from the roster page yesterday. And this is usually something that AEW is very, very particular about. Like they leave people on there until it is time for them to be off that roster page. And with Ricky Starks, it was no different. We had it confirmed. He was released yesterday, free to sign anywhere. No non-compete, nothing holding him back from signing anywhere. Same with Miro. Same with Malachi Black, free to go anywhere. The difference is Ricky has been chilling at home for a while besides some travels. Miro has been back and forth between Europe. I don't know if they could have gotten a deal done with him in time. I see a lot of people saying, why NXT? I immediately asked people on the main roster and NXT. The people that I talked to, again, I want to say of the belief, not this is definitely what happened, but they were of the belief that the WrestleMania plans are pretty much set, decided, and the creative direction is en route for WrestleMania. Now, obviously, things can change. Things will change. Things have changed a lot in CM Punk's situation, just repeatedly. But on NXT, a lot more fluid. You're probably about to see a bunch of call-ups anyway. We had reported that Roxanne Perez was among those. She's clearly finishing up, and they'll carry the Bayley thing over to the main roster. But on NXT, first off, you need Ricky Starks in that men's division in NXT. You absolutely need some star power. I had people asking, oh, is Josh Alexander going to go to WWE or AEW? And I'm sitting there thinking, like, I hope NXT for the sake of that show, for the sake of that the main event scene and some of the top level talent in that regard. It needs a couple of really good veterans that people view on at least a global scale as an upper echelon main event established talent outside the world of NXT. Ethan Page brought that a little bit and obviously was given a big push. But I mean, he had not been pushed towards the tip top of other promotions all the time. Josh Alexander and Ricky Starks have been, and I mean, they've got plenty of history with him as well, but I can't speak to what will happen with Malachi. Do I think it's an accident that Zelina got moved to another brand? No, I don't. Do I think that Miro will go back to WWE? Yeah. And if not, he'll probably head to Japan or something like that. But Ricky Starks was one that was immediately available. It's been pretty clear the direction he's wanted to head. He asked in late 2023 for AEW to not pick up his option in spring of 2024. They did. His deal would have been up in a couple months, and then they just never used him after that. That was one that I thought was worse than Miro. I thought it was worse than Rey Fenix, Penta, any of that stuff. Say what you will about Ricky Starks. Penta and Phoenix negotiated a deal, or were negotiating a deal behind AEW's back with months left on their deal. Miro, they had some creative conflict issues. Even Danhausen, like there was plenty of miscommunication about his schedule and what he had told them. And he would be the first to admit that. With Ricky Starks, I think the extent of it was he said, I don't think it would make a lot of sense for me to beat Big Bill because I want to leave the company and Big Bill wants to stay in the company. So it's like, that's a pretty good problem to have when one of the guys that you see with some potential is like, well, I actually think it'd be good if I put people over. Now, if I were AEW, what I probably would have done is tried to book him as well as possible to convince him to stay. And then if it became clear that he wasn't going to stay, then you have him lose his way out. Instead, they just had some controversy, made it look like they were restricting him in some ways, and then effectively released him. But I also am of the belief this is not an accident that these happened after the Royal Rumble. I think it's pretty clear WWE would have had him in the Royal Rumble if he were available, but Ricky Starks in WWE, and it was a no-brainer. It was always going to happen if he became a free agent. It's somebody that they clearly would have had their eyes on. As of at least the GCW situation, I can say WWE hadn't made overtures towards Ricky. I feel like they probably learned from the Penta Phoenix thing and causing their stuff to be pushed back a little bit there. But this is a big one. This is a no-brainer to me. I'll chill here until anybody gets their super chats, Humper chats in, anything like that. But it is not an accident that they didn't mention his name.
Yeah, guys, get in those chats. Leave a thumbs up on this video. We didn't do the full proper introduction. We were so excited that the post show was televised over here. But subscribe to Fightful Select. I'm sure Sean will have more details back there. But get in those chats about Ricky Starks. We're getting some clarifying notes from Sean right now. But plenty to talk about with this episode of NXT. Also, plenty of stuff that went up before this episode even started with the Raw scoops and the NXT side of things, including Jordan Grace. But Ricky Starks, the topic of convo tonight. We just had a lot of people join between now and the start of the show, so I just wanted to remind you, leave a thumbs up, subscribe to Fightful Select, and get in those super chats, please.
Yeah, so we'll give you that update from FightfulSelect.com. Jordan Grace, we had mentioned earlier in the evening, she is in Orlando. Like, she has a residence there, at least for the time being, and will be available to use on NXT moving forward. She's got a main roster deal, though, so I can't imagine that they will have her there too long. Mr. Burt Wayne says, that man is absolute. Sup, Sean, Alex, Kate. Always good to see our friend, Gorilla Press. Chris McCarty says, Josh Alexander to aid Ethan Page or maybe to attack Ethan Page. They had a very legit falling out at some point. Yeah. Ricky is free. Yes, he is. He is. I prefer that as opposed to people saying they're being held hostage. And I'm like, buddy, not working and getting paid high six figures. Keep me hostage all day, please. Mm-hmm. Like, come on. Tom LaValle says he is now Zane Trillions.
Oh, no.
You know what's funny is Hayes Jameson sounds less like a porn name than most of the NXT names.
Yeah. I mean,
even though it's comprised of 2 porn names.
Yeah.
Meet Norma says, is Ricky keeping his theme or will it be trash? Well, I mean, I'm pretty sure that Mikey Ruckus did that theme. Also, I'm hearing a slight echo of myself somewhere, guys.
Not me.
I bet I know where.
Mm-hmm. That's you.
Wonder why. And then Bill says, for the Kate Elizabeth new personal computer fund.
Look, you can just Venmo me and I'll buy a new computer. I'm fine with that. I'm fine with that.
Kate is rocking on the 1991 Tandy. She's playing Stellar 7 in her free time.
I wish that's what I was doing. I'd have an excuse, at least.
Absolute Hayes Jameson. I love it. Selfishly, I wish he would have worked out in AEW, but I'm so happy for him. He's a ready-made star. Hopefully we can have Starks and Punk in WWE. I'm sure you will. You'll have some history there to play off of, but it is a bummer that he didn't work out in AEW because he is a guy that they saw in NWA. They knew he could be a star. They brought him over, and I have long said in AEW they need to determine that people that are next up are actually up. It seemed like that happened with Takeshita. It happened with Daniel Garcia for a little bit, and then now he's largely on Collision, which is fine, but no major story for him. And it's happening with Kyle Fletcher. Kim Grace is happy for Ricky, now free Phoenix and free Danhausen. I don't know that Danhausen necessarily wants out as much as he wants booked. I saw him the other day at Toy Vomit here in Lexington. Great line. Not the Tandy. I had a Tandy. That's why I know that reference. And I had Stellar 7. I played it years after it was a thing. Kate, I keep muting you because I keep getting feedback, just so you know. That's why you keep getting muted.
I'm trying to fix it.
Unmuting yourself isn't going to fix it on my end, though. Ricky will now be Osiris Griffin. Listen, I hope they just let him keep his name, Alex.
Me too. Listen, the crowd immediately broke into a Ricky Starks chant and then a Ricky. Like, if you're not going to let him keep Ricky Starks, it would be stupid not to let him be Ricky something. Because everyone knows him as Ricky. Allow him to be Ricky, whatever the last name is. Hopefully it's not the last name isn't stupid. But like the Ricky thing, that is a built-in name recognition. You do not throw that away. At least you shouldn't. In my opinion, you should figure out a way to capitalize on that in some way. It's ready-made SEO. It's ready-made merch sales. Like they know who to search for. I know who this guy is. Nobody knows who the hell Osiris Griffin is unless he's a cornerback who played for the Giants in 1998.
Kate playing, I think you mean Oregon Trail after the show. Yeah, her computer has dysentery. That's for sure.
It does.
That is absolutely true. I'll save that one for you guys. Ricky to rebuild Chase you, call it stroke you. No, this is absolutely not going to happen. Absolutely not. Jesus Christ.
No, don't do that.
Don't do that at all.
Don't do
please.
That.
Are they going to call Ricky Starks or any name they copyrighted like Osiris Griffin? Well, this is obviously an interesting topic of conversation, as somebody says, absolutely sticky rocks. Oh, Jesus Christ. Dropping his name, I think, would largely be a mistake.
Yeah.
Now, granted, listen, Adam Copeland to Cope has ended up working okay for the live crowd. Walter to Gunther, we all thought it was a bad thing, ended up not being so bad. This one, I would keep him. I would keep it at Ricky Starks.
Yeah.
Metal Hot Bob Houston says exactly why AEW is trash. They fumble everyone. Like, listen, what are you doing here? What are we supposed to say to this? Because this is objectively untrue.
I mean, they don't fumble everyone. They may have indeed fumbled Ricky Starks, but that does not qualify as everyone.
They for sure fumbled Ricky Starks.
Yeah.
But they do not fumble everyone. This is asinine. Don't be ridiculous.
Yeah.
Go the Daniel Bryan route. Stark Richardson. If you had to.
Stark East. I mean, it could work. It could work it.
I mean, listen, that is absolutely an NXT name.
It is.
Stark Richardson.
Yes, it is. It is.
That's the best one I've heard so far.
Yeah.
By all means, the best one. How about the absolute man, Ricky Starks? I thought this was a name suggestion at first. And I'm like, well,
yeah, sure.
That'll
be his nickname. Everybody's got to have like a thing. Big Bronson Reed, Seth freaking Rollins, the absolute man. Maybe. I don't know.
CW seems to be under the impression he's going by Ricky Starks. They posted his promo on their YouTube and called him Ricky Starks. Did they call him that or did they tag him? Interesting. I was told it was not an accident that they didn't do that.
Well, I think it's interesting that CW, the network, doesn't know enough to not do that. But and the NXT Twitter, the WWE Twitter, both are keeping mum about what he's being called.
Jambeard says Ricky Starks' first NXT match should be him beating Tony D for the North American title. Have Starks and Oba be the champs leading the men's division this year. Something that we discussed on the post-Raw show. And I didn't watch all of NXT, so I don't know if they did. But if I were Vic Joseph, Booker T, Corey Graves, I'd be saying, you know who didn't even bother to come here and check out our champion? Jey Uso.
They did not do that.
He wanted no pieces of Oba. And I would even have Jay say that. Like, it's not going to hurt Jay at all. Like, he said that about the Wyatt Six at one point.
Yeah.
I think I just saw earlier, Kate had actually tweeted about that. It's like, Jay didn't want Oba. He was good. He was all set on that front. Put over your champion. JW Pringle says, amazing Alex, Killa Kate. And the one and only Papa Paul Elizabeth. Luis! All the SGS. Knock, knock. Who's there? Ricky Starks. That's who. I get the feeling Ricky Starks will do slightly better than Braden Walker, Alex.
I think so, too. I think that is also true.
Slightly better, at least. Yeah. The dissension is broadcast with some generic butt rock. Here we go. Ricky's new name, Starcade.
I mean, I don't mind Cade. Cade could work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tim McFall says, absolutely great debut. Any idea if Ricky's on a main roster deal? Maybe he can spare some change for the Kate PC and suit fund.
Do it.
I don't know the nature of his deal. I'm not sure.
I bet it's good enough to buy me a new computer.
I bet it is.
Ricky.
I bet it is. And to get you earbuds that aren't so loud that we hear them through your mic.
My mic's not even plugged in right now.
Oh, I know. I hear the popping and cracking of your earbuds.
Yeah.
I'm
going with what I know is operating at the moment. All right.
So not your computer.
Yeah, that would be
not
correct.
your computer.
I was going to try and fix audio with my situation right now.
Miro to Raw and Black to SmackDown. I think it's a fair assumption if they get signed. Yeah, I think that would be a fair one. But it also wouldn't surprise me to see both Miro and Malachi on SmackDown to add a little bit of juice to that and the 3 hours that they have there.
Yeah.
Any updates on Speedball signing anywhere yet? Last I heard, he was AEW bound. They expected him to be AEW bound by mid-November. When he left TNA, he was expected to be in AEW. I am of the belief that he's under contract already. I just don't know what the deal is. I know where you can find him, though. Twitch. That's where. Richie Starboy. Sorry, Charlie. I mean, listen, if Starboy is the new family wrestling nickname or family wrestling name, there you go. Mid-Cyclo says, quick thoughts on Booker T doing NXT commentary, SRS. This seems like bait. It seems like you're trying to get me to say something bad about him. He already doesn't like me because of stuff I've reported about reality of wrestling. Like, what are we doing? Come on. Like, quit. I love how MD Cyclo goes, hey, real quick, what do you think about
quick thoughts?
Hey, well,
quick
I
thoughts.
got you here.
Well, quick thoughts.
Oh,
Some quick thoughts.
Listen.
He says it is bait. It is bait. It seems like bait. It is. It is.
If I had to cover the show every single week, I would feel much different. But I find him hilarious. Whenever somebody...
Oh, it was so great having Sean on, wasn't it? What a great time.
When somebody pops up on the show who's been on there like 10 times and he goes, who?
Yeah.
I find that very funny. So there we go. God, I am hot Bob Houston. TV ratings are in the trash. They can't pull more than 3K people for a Dynamite. Ricky is a bigger star in one night than in 4. Bob, whatever this dumb bullshit is. Like, listen. Attendance, whatever. There's no good way to spin the fact that their attendance numbers are that low. But are you going to sit there and say that WWE was always at its best when it had the highest attendance? Are you going to tell me that ECW was never good because it had low attendance? Are you going to tell me that some of the best TNA stuff wasn't in the Impact Zone as opposed to when they went on the road with all that Hogan bullshit? Ratings are what in the shitting fuck does TV viewership mean to AEW right now? They are simulcast on Max. Hey, chat, hit us up right now. How do you watch AEW right now? What do you watch that on? Would hit us in the chat right now. What method do you use to watch it? Is it TBS, TNT, Max? Is it illegal streaming? Is it Triller? We ain't gonna tell on you, except we're gonna put your comment on the screen. Oh, look at this. Look at that.
You
oh
are
my
absolutely
God.
going to tell
Hot
everyone.
diggity fucking damn. Would you look at that?
I also watch on Max.
I watch on Max as well. And then when I'm not watching on Max, I use nordvpn.com/Fightful and then watch it on Triller. Listen, not YouTube TV. You watch it on TBS. That's what you watch it on. So we are looking right now at a smooth... 90% of our audience right now watching this on Max.
Also, like...
Come on.
I think it's important to keep in mind that they're also getting like $3 million a week, right? Like they've locked in the TV deal. It's not.
Which brings me to my next point. Had a whole bunch of weirdos
with an
screenshot our story about the viewership of NXT, which did like 700K, and then the story about AEW. AEW has been largely around 600,000 since they've moved to Max. NXT had theirs dip a bit. NXT is on broadcast TV. And we had mentioned this is the lowest since, and we had mentioned AEW has stayed steady over weeks. And a lot of people pretended to get bothered by that. First off, you don't really give a shit. Don't pretend like you care about that. You do not care about that. But people are like, oh, well, it's how they're framed. One has nothing to do with the other. It has to do with the show that preceded it. AEW Dynamite the week prior, the week prior, the week prior. NXT the week prior, the week prior, the week prior. Because if you go to our Twitter and you look up AEW lowest, you are going to find dozens of AEW does their lowest viewership since. Collision does their lowest viewership since. The way that people get so weird over wrestling companies is just odd to me. And people say, they didn't do this in WWF. Yeah, they did. They absolutely did. They for sure did. I remember
ratings mattered then.
Yes, because that was all you had then. But I remember when Sable showed up in the front row on Nitro, it was, guy, you should have dropped, like, you would have thought that WCW dropped a nuclear bomb on somebody, like the vitriol there. Like, it did exist. It's always existed. I just can't imagine being so like fake mad over that, like pretending.
My new favorite is that it means the product is dying. They'll be like, nope, the product's
No.
I know they're making almost double what they did their first year, but they're in the mud. Like,
and it's not limited to AEW.
No.
Like John Alba and I used to have an inside joke that we can no longer do anymore because people are so toxic and weird about it. Because in like 2018, 2019, people would go to shows, WWE shows, and send us pictures of areas being tarped off. And we would joke about it and say, oh my God, they tarped it off. And we would find like venues with, 65,000 people. And there would be like one area tarped off for a camera. And we're like, oh.
Sean, there were people pretending
How long have they got?
3.1 million on Netflix is not good. They were like,
there you go.
dropped to 7th. Only 3 million people watched Raw.
There you go.
People just like to make things up for their... They want to control their narrative is what they're trying to do.
We used to joke about everything getting tarped off. We brought that joke back, and it got like the weirdest people.
Yes,
the weirdest people thinking that it was serious. Guys, I truly do not give a shit about viewership unless it is so good that it's like, whoa, look at that. Or so bad that it's like, that is concerning. AEW just got a new TV deal. WWE is doing fine. The attendance, I'm like, yeah, I wish it was up, but they are adjusting. They are managing. They're going to smaller venues. Whatever. There's no good way to spin that other than they're making the best out of it. Just, good God.
Sean, I know an ad exec at a network that broadcasts one of these wrestling shows, and she doesn't care nearly as much as people online care, unless it's way, way up or way, way down. The middle ground, nobody cares about.
Yeah, I think, and which, by the way, listen, I will never think that being on at 10:30 on a Saturday is a good move, except this weekend. All-Star Weekend is a definitely good lead-in. It is an opportunity to get a lot of eyeballs on that. We will have a Grand Slam post-show, by the way. But, yeah, I didn't anticipate that rant, but I'll see you guys later.
Bye, Sean. Yeah, so once again, hi. This is where the silliness starts. If you have, should we do puns? What are the puns? People are asking about puns. Somebody said we should just do a thing where come up with a funny name that they're going to call Ricky Starks, and then we'll read all the funny names.
Let's do that. Let's switch it up tonight. I like that.
All right, so everybody in the chat, if the puns are this, come up with a funny name that they're going to call Ricky Starks.
Yeah,
there you go.
Like he's not Ricky Starks. His WWE name is.
Should we do the social media thing of wrong answers only? So yeah. Richie R says, message to the chat. The only thing that matters with wrestling is if you enjoyed it. If you aren't having a good time, do something else.
It's that simple.
Yeah, I would say that.
Or if you're not having a good time, get paid to talk about it with extreme silliness, which is sometimes what happens on NXT. But tonight's episode was pretty good.
Everything is now kind of, I have to like go look through everything and see if it was or not. So a lot of it that I actually really enjoyed. And then some decisions that I go, I'm sorry. You know what? Not to say I told you so. But when they made the choice to give the general managership over to a 22-year-old with no previous experience, I was like, I don't think that's going to turn out right. And then it was like, the triple threat that should never have been a triple threat is now a triple threat. Now it's a fatal four-way. You obviously probably shouldn't be wrestling. Sign this agreement so we don't have to get in trouble if your whole face smashes into smithereens and falls off of your skull.
It's a whole timeless agreement, yeah.
I totally get it. But it is very funny. This goes back to, I want to see the tag team division step up, and they all stepped up by fighting each other for 3 straight weeks. And she didn't even try to address it. So I'm just saying we'll talk more about it. But
the Vengeance Day card is looking really good, which is what I liked of what came out of tonight. I was looking at this Vengeance Day card and was like, wow, this has actually got a lot of juice on it. I'm excited for it.
That is good.
But yeah, the questionable things are so questionable, interrogative doesn't even be able to cover the beginning of how questionable they are.
Right. So we'll touch back on the Ricky Starks thing when it happens in the show as we're going through it. But yes, if you're tuning in late and you didn't watch, Ricky Starks is in NXT now, but it's up in the air whether or not he's going to be called Ricky Starks or something silly like Ricky Maivia, which is from Tom LaValle, which is my favorite is Ricky Maivia. That's awesome. Ricky Runnels, that's good. Make him make Ricky Rhodes. Make him Cody's long lost half brother, Ricky Rhodes. I think it's great. Also, Rick Star Jazzman. That's also very good.
I feel like we're missing the biggest one, which is Ricky Rainbow is right there, man.
Yeah, I mean, that might be trademarked, I think. So I don't think he can do that. Hey, last night we called into question the booking of Bayley versus your current and first ever, has never defended the belt since she won it, Women's Intercontinental Champion, Lyra Valkyria, to lose clean to Bayley while you had Roxanne in the house, like in the front row, and Roxanne could have easily done something to distract Bayley to cause her to lose the match that would have protected your IC champion and then advanced the plot between Bayley and Roxanne. Who
so
we
two
know,
could have Ivy Nile.
and Ivy Nile obviously could have interfered the other way. But one of the things was you had Roxanne standing there. You made sure to introduce her to us and tell us how much she hates Bayley, and then you just had Bayley clean pin again brand new, never defended the belt, first ever Intercontinental Champion, Women's Intercontinental Champion, and then tonight they had Bayley versus Cora Jade for nothing. Now it turned out to be for something very specific that we didn't know it was for, because bad GMing, but we had no idea at the time. We just thought it was Cora Jade doesn't like Bayley, and they have a match. And during the match, Roxanne comes out to Bayley's old entrance music, which apparently they still have on file somewhere. She's dressed up as the old hugger Bayley, which distracts Bayley enough that she gets out of the ring and attacks Roxanne, but then turns around to being taken dirty deeds by Cora Jade on the outside, rolled into the ring, and another one, and gets pinned. And so we did the finish in a weird way, reversed of the dates that I think maybe would have been more beneficial, except for the fact that we had no idea. But apparently, backstage with no cameras, Cora Jade had negotiated a thing that this was if you beat Bayley, you're also added to the women's title match at Vengeance Day, which again was not something anyone was aware of whatsoever, including Bayley and Roxanne, and I guess Julia, who was informed of this backstage. So 2 weeks ago when Cora Jade was like, I'm really angry, and Ava was like, I'll see you in my office. Apparently that was what I'm really angry. And so Ava said, I'll see you in my office. Apparently what they had negotiated was this backroom deal, which is if you can beat Bayley, then you get added to the title match. And I feel like you didn't need to do any more of that. There was already more than it should have been. And we could just move on. But apparently not. We need Cora Jade in there to take the pin.
Yeah, I have said many a time that I feel like the ratio of multi-person matches to one-on-one matches for world titles especially should be like 3-1 probably. Yeah. And in NXT, we get a lot of multi-man and multi-woman matches. This one at least makes a little more sense, I feel like, because they don't want Bayley or Roxanne to get pinned, and I get that. Like, that puts this in a really weird spot. But you could just have that continue to the main roster. I guess it all kind of depends, like, does this make sense? Depends on what their timeline is for calling up Roxanne and where they're going to finish this feud with Bayley and what that feud is ultimately going to be for, if it's going to be for belt or something. Like, there's all these contingencies on that, so I get having Cora eat the pin. I also wonder if Roxanne is just working both brands and, Roxanne lets Cora get pinned in some way and that ends their friendship and she puts Cora over on the way out or something along those lines. So we'll see. These triple threats and 4-packs happen a lot. It's a little too often for my taste. Like it feels like hardly any one-on-one title defenses with our world titles. Ring-wise, it'll be great, but we also just saw a permutation of this pretty recently.
Right.
So, but I mean, these are 4 of the best women's wrestlers in the world. Three of the very best, and Cora Jade is starting to look better since coming back from injury and stuff. She's starting to look more comfortable, but unfortunately, it feels like she keeps getting added to stuff to eat pins. Like it feels like that's the only reason she's getting thrown in.
She's only getting added to this to this 4-way match is so she can take the pin, and we all expect her to do so. Then I don't know how much that helps, all in all. But also, I'm fine with telling the story of Bayley hits a rose plant on Julia, and Roxanne pulls Bayley out of the ring while she's pinning her, and they fight on the outside and beat each other up. And Bayley takes a knee from Julia and gets pinned because she wasn't focused on Julia. She was focused on Roxanne. I'm fine with Julia pinning Bayley to help the story with Bayley and Roxanne if they both move to the main roster and fight up there. By the way, Bayley already qualified for the Elimination Chamber match, and Roxanne has a match against Raquel Rodriguez on Monday, and I would think would probably qualify there. So that feud will continue after Vengeance Day into the Elimination Chamber match, which is why neither one of them will win that. So you could easily just have that happen and not be like, oh, our fighting made us not recognize that Julia was just obviously pinning Cora in the match while we were fighting over here. We
were doing fight 'em ups over here, and that was happening over there.
We were doing this over here.
This is how you wrestle.
This is how you do fight 'em ups.
This is fight 'em ups.
Honestly, when they do the brawl thing, like, is it really all that different than this? I mean, that's basically what it is. You know what I mean?
It's pretty close. It's pretty close. I forgot about that with Elimination Chamber. I do appreciate because, I mean, we just went through, unfortunately, releases again on both sides, right? I do appreciate that Roxanne's main roster reps are being made to be intentional and high value right now of that her Royal Rumble appearance, she almost went the distance, right? It was just her and Charlotte at the end. Elimination Chamber is something that she'll probably go on to set stuff up with Bayley. So I feel like we have to, as a society, in this world, we have to encourage better main roster handoffs from NXT. Right. It seems like they do that with certain talent. Like they're like, Braun Breaker, yes to that guy. Roxanne, yes to that guy. Obafemi, we're actually going to book well around these parts because we know he's generational. Right. So I do appreciate that. Mr. J97 asked a question in the chat, and this is something that I didn't want to have to bring up, but why does Julia feel like the fourth wheel in this feud? And she absolutely does. She never makes an appearance in front of the crowd tonight. She was backstage watching this match. We don't see her react. There's a scene backstage where Ava is talking to Bayley, and Bayley's pissed, and Roxanne is pissed, and then Cora comes in. It's like, what's going on? Oh, hi, Cora, bestie. I'm just so happy that you have an opportunity to become the women's champion in a match of Vengeance Day this weekend. And then Cora leaves, and Roxanne's like, I hate her so much. Julia's not in that scene. Julia just is sitting there wordlessly, and I do feel like they're like, is it the foreign thing? Is it that they think that she can't talk, quote unquote? I mean, she's magnetic. She should be doing stuff all the time. Like, have her at least do the pre-tapes where she can speak Japanese and they do the subtitle.
At least do those.
I mean, that was brought up a while ago before Julia even came in, and they were like, her English is a lot better than a lot of native English speakers around here. So I don't think that's it. That was not a report from us. That was a false report that got debunked. But I think Julia feels like the fourth wheel in this because I don't feel like very much of this actually feels like it has to do with the title, which is kind of the bummer in it. Like,
yeah, that is the bummer.
Roxanne and Bayley have all this tension outside of it. Cora and Roxanne have this very weird frenemy relationship at the moment. So it doesn't feel like Julia is the focal point because it doesn't feel like the title is the focal point. It feels like there's all these relationship issues with it. Very early in her reign, though. Like, this will be a fantastic match, and then hopefully we can get into a deeper rivalry, whether that's Jordan Grace or someone else. So we'll see there. But I agree with that entirely. Like, she does feel like the she's the champion, and she doesn't feel like the focal point of this at all, which is a bummer.
Right. We got absolute banger of a triple threat tag match.
You have to do the hand thing now. Anytime you say absolute, it's required
we have
by law.
We had a positive banger, which is very different than a negative banger, which is usually when I do rants on the other show on Behind the Paywall. Josh Briggs and Inamura, who now are Team Double Vest because there are two of them and they both wear a vest. So he's never getting away from the name, even though he's now, honestly, I think he's developed into a pretty great big man wrestler and can do a lot of stuff that you want a big man in WWE to do. Briggs has been doing a great job. But
his
now
conditioning's out of
they're
control,
both wearing vests, Kate. They're Team Double Vest. I'm sorry, that's their name. So even if they come up with a different name, even if they call themselves Brigamora, no, I'm sorry, you can't just Fraxium everything. They're not Brigamora. They are Team Double Vest, just as Fraxium as the Blurry Boys. But it was them versus NQCC versus Hank and Tank, three teams with big boys on them, and this was a barn burner. These guys, there was an extended sequence that ended with something I'd never seen before, which was like, I'm going to sling blade you at top speed so that you end up doing a senton on your own tag team partner who is already laying in the middle of the ring. That was friggin' great. This was really good and showed me that all these big dudes who I think, especially in the case of Hank and Tank, I think that once they were to reach the main roster, if they were ever to do so, they will be just branded as big oafs who do big oaf stuff. And this match showed me, no, these boys are workers. Like if they ever got around to actually doing tag team wrestling, like for real on the main roster, like across the board, like I think last night showed partially in that match, that they can do that. Everything they're doing on SmackDown is going in that way. If they're headed toward the tag team is where the fun stuff is. If that's the tag team division where the fun stuff is, you watch, those things are going to be sprints. They're going to be a lot of fun. Everybody in every team can work. Then all of these guys showed absolutely they belong in the conversation to at least be the guys who take losses for a few months upon being called up in the tag division on the main roster, because this was excellent. Team Double Vest, they win with a really cool Inamura doing a thing where he's like, he gets the ropes bouncing before he does his splash, which was really fun. So he gets the pin. This was excellent. Loved it.
This was very, very fun. And also kind of what I thought, like when Ava said a few months ago, or a few weeks ago, whatever it was, like, I want you to prove it to me. I was thinking more in terms of this rather than they just brawls everywhere.
Me too.
This was really nice to see because this has been a division that has been thin as well as the men's singles roster. Like, there has not been a lot of stories told around this division, and there have not been a lot of tag team showcases, which when you have arguably the best American tag team in wrestling right now holding your titles in the Blurry Boys and Fraxium, that's frustrating to see that kind of get wasted. I hope that the booking doesn't continue to get in its own way. Today was just a clean tag team win from a rising team. Double vest. You and I are influencers. That's all that is. Of course. Of course there's 2 vests there. Inamura looks great. He's connecting with the crowd in a really special way, I feel like. And to your point, Briggs is really kind of evolved into not just like a really good wrestler, but kind of those things that we talk about being a complete wrestler. We talk about that a lot on the show, I feel like. And in moments like last week when we saw it with Kalani Jordan, like we're starting to see that with him. And I actually really like him in this tag team. Like, I don't want to see him in a big guy, little guy tag team. I want to see him in a tag team like this. Because I think it makes the offense and who's the hot tag stuff more interesting than, like, I go in there and do big guy stuff and then here comes a little guy. Like, he has the versatility to switch up the formula that they normally do that kind of stuff with. So I like this duo a lot. But Alex, Sean didn't do a read while I was gone, did he?
No.
Okay, because you had said, like, this was an absolute banger. And then you said, well, it's a positive banger, not a negative banger. And if you've been having some negative bangers lately, we know the tool to help you turn those negatives into positives and make those matches last a little bit longer.
Blue Chew, main event performance, main event confidence, and a main event deal. Go to BlueChew.com and use the code FIGHTFUL, and you will get Blue Chew with their first shipment for free. Shipment? Yeah, I said shipment. No waiting in line at the pharmacy, no awkward doctor's visits. You take their online exam, and then if approved, it's shipped straight to your door. That's right. Same active ingredients as Viagra and Cialis, but in a chewable form and much more affordable. How can you pass up on this? How can you pass up on that confidence? How can you pass up on that performance? How can you pass up on making your sex life better? That's what Blue Chew is here to do. You don't have to have a problem to use Blue Chew. Just get that additional performance. BlueChew.com and the code FIGHTFUL.
The segue strikes again. See how my technology cooperates as soon as Sean leaves?
I mean, it's better now. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
He's the problem.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Ain't that the way?
Will Chisholm says, it's nice to see Myles did his dad's power slam, LOL. I believe, Will, is that a joke? Is reference to some people in the SGS Discord were saying that Myles Borne looks like a young Glacier. Is that what you're talking about? Because he said LOL. I'm not aware of any second generation Myles Borne lineage. So, Orton, he looks like Randy Orton. Oh, isn't that? Oh yeah, talk a big game. She talks a big game. She's like, ha ha ha. Just as soon as Sean leaves, all my technology immediately gets great. Oh yeah, that's right. Sean was just messing around because this is Kate talking. My technology is up and running at 110%. That's what Kate said. Come on. Are you back? Can you hear me?
I think so.
I mean, kind of. It's a black screen. I can't see you. The screen's blacked out.
I literally even said Sean's name, and that's what happened.
No, say his name, and he messes with your equipment. Oh, it's a joke because people think Myles looks like a clone of Randy Orton. It's a Twitter bit. I don't think he looks like a clone of Randy Orton. Does it? I don't think he looks like a clone of Randy Orton. Maybe I'm wrong. I need to look at a side by side comparison. Hey, Eddie Thorpe cut a promo in front of Fire. That's kind of what he does. Hey, you're back. So Eddie Thorpe cut a promo in front of fire. It's his thing now. It's his move. He stands in front of a fire and he cut a promo. That's just his deal.
There's nothing inaccurate about what you said.
I'm a master at distilling things down to their absolute kernel.
You have a gift. I do. It looks cooler than the way you said it, though.
It always looks cool, but when it becomes a pattern, like this man just, I feel like if he's walking along and he sees a flame, he just stops and cuts a menacing promo at something, and if there's a camera there, it happens to catch it. But I want to see him just do it over a flaming barrel as he's walking through Skid Row. You know what I mean?
I feel like maybe just like every week there's like a bonfire or whatever. Like it's a little it's a game night. Mm-hmm. They have some wine. People make some s'mores. And he's like, real quick before we put this bonfire, I'm gonna cut some promos, and I think it's great.
Yeah, I get
those promos are lit. Alan Jeanette says
they are indeed. They're lit by candlelight. So
I am strapped in for this match.
He wants a strap match versus Trick Williams, who later in an in-ring, or like not an in-ring, in an above the ring in the Raven's Nest overlooking the cage being built, says, "I accept your strap match challenge." And TK Shorts says, "I don't know if I want to see a black man in a strap match." And I would add, during Black History Month, I mean, I don't know if I think the match will be very, very good. And it is like the thing that if Eddie Thorpe has one thing, it is standing in front of a fire cutting a promo. If Eddie Thorpe has two things, it is the first thing and strap matches.
Sure.
Those are the two things. If he has three things, it's beat boops. If he has four things, we could spin this out for a lot more things. But the first two things are in this order: standing in front of a flame, cutting a promo, and two strap matches. So I understand why he's having it. And the match should be great. It does feel like, so to me, it feels like you're doing this in this order. A couple of yahoos facing Obafemi in a handicap / triple threat match. Guys who don't deserve a title shot, who don't even go here. You're doing that at Vengeance Day because you have nothing else to do with him right now, and you don't want to do Trick Williams versus Obafemi one-on-one here because you want to do that at Standard Delivery. So you're also, let's wrap up stuff with Eddie Thorpe. You can have a one-on-one match with Trick Williams. Trick Williams gets put over hard going forward to have his one-on-one match with Obafemi. That all sounded great before tonight. I think you have Trick Williams. I think you should have had Trick Williams versus Obafemi now, and you have Ricky Starks come in and say, "I want that title, big man. I don't know how I'm gonna get it because you are large, but I am gonna find a way," because he's Ricky Starks. And because he should demand to be in the main event scene the same way Ethan Page did when he showed up. But I'm going to find a way in there. I don't want Obafemi losing the title, but like I don't know what, but they also have just after Ricky Starks showed up, they set up a whole thing where Tony D has a bunch of things he's got to contend with over the next couple of months. So my thing would have been, well, just, I love Tony D, but it's Ricky Starks. Put the North American title on him.
Yeah.
Maybe they blow off whatever the hell this is with the Sean Spears family. Maybe that gets blown off at Roadblock Manhattan. But like, I don't know what all this goes to, but it does feel like they're still gonna do a one-on-one Trick versus Obafemi at Standard Delivery, or as I like to call it, SP.
Yeah, I mean, this deal must have come together in 24 hours, realistically, right? So they couldn't make creative plans on a fly, maybe, that they felt completely comfortable abandoning some things that they've had in the works.
Listen, it's Ricky
No, I
Starks.
get it. It's Ricky Starks.
You abandoned a lot of things. Short of your firstborn child, you abandoned most things.
And even that, like, how much do we care about this kid?
Do you have a second and thirdborn child? Because if you do, they can carry on your lineage. You abandon the first one because it's Ricky Starks. I'm sorry.
Like, so sorry to that firstborn, but it's Ricky Starks.
It is Osiris Griffin.
Understand.
You will abandon your firstborn child for Osiris Griffin. You have to. Osiris.
I feel like it's not the worst plan to let Ricky Starks get a bunch of wins under his belt and then beat Tony D. Mm-hmm. Not in a series of 3 matches. God love you, Tony D. But like right away, Ricky Starks. Kind of like they're doing with Steph. Like they've got about business real weird with her, but like she's definitely gonna win this belt. But she got some wins and acquainted a little bit with the audience. Shout out to SP3 who's in the chat right now. Showing tons of love to this Sean Spears faction.
The baby will understand when they're older.
The baby is like, if you give up your firstborn for Ricky Starks, aka Osiris Griffin,
yeah,
or whatever terrible name they give him,
mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like the baby's gonna be like, it's Ricky Starks, like sooner or later, so. Right. And we're saying firstborn. It doesn't have to necessarily be newborn. They could be in their
right. No.
40s for all we know.
Yeah, exactly. It's true. Okay, so it wasn't on the rundown, I don't think, so we'll talk about it now, so we don't go too far past it. Obafemi comes out and says, I am defending my title in a handicap match. Make no mistake, that is what it is. And then out come A Clown Down Under. And I think we are supposed to believe that by the end of it, that all of their sniping at each other was just to lull Obafemi into a false sense of security. And then they were like, haha, just kidding. We're in lockstep. And they attack him. They double team him. And to show that they are, really, really do think they're going to be a unit. But then after that, then they fight. Then they shove each other some more. So this was actually kind of good to see them like actually start to turn on each other, which we've been waiting for literal months since I believe
84 years.
I think since June. Like we've been waiting for this since June. Like at least 8 months. We've just been waiting and waiting and waiting for them to fully turn on each other. And they almost did it during this promo. And then we're like, JK. And so I just want them to turn on each other. And listen, them getting the best of Obafemi, doing the double team and attacking him, hitting him with a belt or whatever, all this stuff. All of that guarantees that Obafemi is winning because wrestle math. But also, he was never going to lose to these guys anyway. Sure. So like we're just having him beat up 2 guys who are both trying to beat him up and not each other.
But kind of each other, right? That's going to be the story.
They're going to both of them beat him up together, and then one of them will try and get the pinfall, and the other will be like, "Hey, I want the pinfall. What are you talking about? I want the pinfall." And then they'll start sniping at each other. And then Obafemi will get up and then he'll chokeslam them through the ring.
Okay, don't be mad, but like, I popped when he said overrated.
I didn't hear it.
He said he was overrated on the way to the ring, and I was like, as a pun connoisseur,
I know. Mm-hmm.
I appreciated it.
Well, yeah, but we like puns that are true, that have a kernel of truth, and there's no kernel of truth there.
Well, no. If anything, he could be
underrated. He's still underrated.
He's underrated. He could be the best wrestler. Like someone could be like, he's the best wrestler in the world, and I'd be like, you're still find him to be underrated.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. In the universe, in all known and unknown universes, he is the greatest wrestler.
Nah. Mm-hmm. Especially now that Zack Sabre Jr. lost his title to Goto or whatever, but we could talk about that later. I'm fine. This was great. Like Obafemi's such a star, and like, normally he's dressed so impeccably and looks so cool, and then today he was in a t-shirt, and I was like, he still looks so cool. He's just the coolest guy in the world. And I loved him saying, like, that they think they can dethrone the ruler, but at the end of the day, like, only one guy holds the belt. So, he did his part really well. Grayson Waller and Austin Theory, I think you're right. By the end of it, we were supposed to believe that they were in on it together, but I think those kernels of truth that came out more vicious than they normally do are going to eventually, hopefully, lead to them splitting. But, like, I've been wanting that for ever, and it just hasn't happened. So,
Backstage, we saw the Fatal Influencers talking about how Stephanie doesn't have any friends.
Real quick.
Yeah.
Fatal Influencers. Have they ever jokingly named a tag team into giving them an actual gimmick? Because we called him Double Vest, and now that team is Double Vest. How much influence do they have? Is it that much? Just saying.
No. The Fatal Influencers are backstage talking about, the numbers game and friends and how Stephanie doesn't have any, except for maybe Julia, but she's got her hands full. Stephanie also doesn't have something else. Stephanie doesn't have on this show screen time. This is the go home to her becoming the Women's North American champion. Why isn't she on screen? I don't understand, like, certain things that, like okay, we're promoting this match that's happening at the deal, but not with the woman who's definitely going to win it.
I appreciate this from Alphaville. It's true. Back-to-back segments. I teed him up for overrated, swatted down. I got no sold on our own influencer, Powers.
Right.
Which he's just jealous because he never got discounted lashes off of it.
I am horribly jealous. I mean, my lash girl never gives me a discount.
What were we talking about? Oh, Steph Becker not having any TV time. Why this episode? We got Monkey's Pod again, Alex. We've been like, why isn't Zarya going to beat the hell out of somebody? And they were like, we're going to do it on this episode, but not have the people that are fighting on Vengeance Day be on the go home. I have appreciated when Steph has been on screen the way she's been on screen. It's almost like Io Sky was in this mode too, where she just like hated everybody, but was low key about her hatred. There was no like emphatic promos about it. She was just like, I don't like anybody. And that seems to be Steph's approach, and I appreciate that. They just got her a shirt, by the way, which is weird to do to one of the prettiest, coolest wrestlers I've ever seen in my life. But okay.
I don't know why we just took too long.
I don't know what the holdup was, but
yep.
It is weird. I did appreciate that she said, except maybe Julia, but she has her hands full, because I was like, well, she kind of had that alliance, but she has her own match. Like, I'm glad that they actually acknowledged that. But we'll see.
And then Kalani comes up and says, if you hold on to that title, P.S. you won't. If you hold on to that title after at least you shouldn't. After Vengeance Day, then I want a match for it. It's like, you already got your rematch. Also, don't you have Jada Parker to worry about? And Jada Parker's like, yes, she does. She has me to worry about, but actually, I'm not concerned with her. I want that title too, so Jada Parker.
I'm also conveniently right here.
I'm also conveniently right here. You know who else is right there? Ashanti the Adonis. You know who else isn't conveniently right there?
Carmen Petrovic.
Carmen Petrovic, who's actually the person who should be here, but he's like, hey, my girl beat you and my girl beat you. The only reason my girl beat either one of you is because the other one of you distracted the other one, but we're not going to talk about that. I'm Ashanti the Adonis. I don't know where my girlfriend is, but I am here sticking up for her because I support women.
Well, I think this is part of the story, right? It's like she's never had agency over herself in the storyline, which is gross, but the intention of what they're saying. End that shit. It's never been good. There's never been a segment I'm like, well, maybe that, like, no. It's unfair to everybody involved, especially Carmen. It just doesn't work. It's a gross thing to put on TV in 2025, but this segment is fine. I'm glad that they're I guess, but that they've kept this crop of women developing and on screen, because it's very easy to let Steph, Julia, Zarya, Bayley coming down from the main roster, Roxanne, Cora, like they haven't. They could have easily drowned out a lot of the show, but they've done a good job of keeping screen time for a lot of the younger developing women that are on the show. Yeah. We say sometimes that it feels like these are two different shows within themselves. Like you get the Eddie Thorpe Fire promo, and then you get this promo of, well, if Jada Parker were, oh my God, she's right here. Like we get these corny backstages. Some of that's just wrestling, though. Yeah. Like everybody's always conveniently right there and cutting off interviews, so it is what it is. But
yeah. So before we get on to the next thing, Rafael Garcia says Ricky Starks will be great in NXT because he's a star you can build around with the Monstar known as Obafemi. I will say this deal came very quickly, but I'll leave it there. Off topic, congrats to Goto. I hope Kate's doing okay. TM Duke Kate for life. Do you want to talk about it?
No, but we should.
Okay.
Zach lost yesterday.
That seems quick, right? That seems like that reign was too short, right?
It wasn't. Like it was October till now, so October?
That's too short.
It's short, but he'll get there. Goto is kind of one of those guys where it was like, if it wasn't going to be now, it was probably never going to happen. So I'm glad that it happened for him. It was probably my favorite title defense of his, too. The match was excellent. And there's a lot of, if we're going to take a New Japan moment, I'll just say, wonderfully productive show yesterday. The show's called New Beginning. Like, we got a lot of really, really promising stuff for a very, very murky product of late. But Tsuji Gabe Kid went to a time limit draw, and one of the most like emotionally satisfying time limit draws you'll ever see. Zack and Goto was great. Like it was the kind of match that, like, as a fan, dominantly of one person, it was just a beautiful love letter to like wrestling and the handoff to him. Sonata's new presentation was really good. Like it was a really productive show last night, and there's something fun about products that aren't affiliated with major American companies in general, of that it feels like everybody's kind of rooting for them in a different way. And with New Japan, the presentation and the gear and the approach is just like, there's just nothing in the world like it when it's like in its groove. It like, as a wrestling fan, is the most connected I feel to wrestling as an art form. Yeah. When that product is like in its bag and from top to bottom. Yeah, Takeshita was ridiculous. Takeshita there's a reason that man has 3 contracts in the sport, okay? Like, my God. But like, you're really, really starting to get some clarity of who is where. Even Shota Umino, who felt very lost in the shuffle after that Wrestle Kingdom match, had a really like great emotional moment yesterday and some fresh changes. Like it's the work of the past year from Tanahashi-san to get them from where they were a year ago to this point. And it's cool when you see those seeds start to grow. It really is special.
Yeah. So tonight I sent you in the DMs, I'm sorry for your loss. And full disclosure, I had no idea that Zack Sabre Jr. had lost the title when I sent you that. I was referring to another terrible loss, because there is no way that they would have let Douchebeard the Pirate change the rules for the Heritage Cup if Noam Dar was still alive. But apparently he's dead now, and so is the Heritage Cup. What the hell are we doing? We're letting this dude just, by executive fiat, nope, the Heritage Cup is not the Heritage Cup anymore. Now it's the Heritage Cup Championship, and it's one fall to a finish, so it's just a regular match now. This is the dude that gets to change everything? This guy. The only one who can sign off on that is Ava, and again, I'm going to force to be calling into question. I do not think a 22-year-old, or however old she was, should have been given the reins of the GM as in NXT if she had no previous experience, because she's going to turn regular matches into triple threats and triple threats into 4-ways, and also give Douchebeard the Pirate complete carte blanche to change the rules of an entire championship division to whatever he pleases.
Not Douchebeard the Pirate.
He's Douchebeard the Pirate.
I mean, the rules changed on a go-home show. Like, maybe Noam Dar's coming back at Vengeance Day. Oh my god, Noam Dar versus Ricky Starks. Could be a thing that we get. But if you're going to say sorry for your loss, you should assume it has to do with Zack Sabre Jr. and that if he didn't lose something, you should go down the list from there.
I didn't know. I wanted you to come back with, what do you mean? Well, this never would have happened if Noam Dar was still alive, because I sent it during this match. And also, they had everyone on commentary say this is a good thing. He might be doing it as a heel, but both Corey Graves and Booker T thought this was awesome. And then they have Vic Joseph say, I wonder what former champions, Noam Dar, Tyler Bate, Nathan Fraser, A-Kid, wherever he may be, I wonder what those guys would say about these rule changes. You know, people who really respect the rules, the history of European mat wrestling. And then Corey Graves said, well, they are former champions. Maybe if they wanted to have something to say about it, they shouldn't have lost the cup. And Vic Joseph says, you know what? You're right. And when the voice of reason, i.e. the commentary guy, agrees with the heel commentators, that means that's a directive from the back that this is what is the Heritage Cup is going to be now. And I'm not okay with that, because it was the one cool thing. It was the one cool thing that they brought over from NXT UK. And they're just going to get rid of it. I'm not okay with it. Especially not for Douchebeard the Pirate.
I think maybe it's important to consider that Vic Joseph might just be trying to get through this these days. He might have just been throwing up his hands and saying, you know what?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, it's great. It's
You're
great.
right. You're right. The same way that just like 2 + 2 is 5, sweetheart. It's fine today. No, I think this is either maybe they do. If Noam Dar's healthy, I would be so excited for so many reasons. But him coming back to this would be great at Vengeance Day to stop the bleeding here.
It would be really good, but I don't know. I thought that was the plan last week when he was floating, changing the rules, and then he got interrupted. When they was like, oh no, he just changed the rules. And also everybody who has a microphone says it's a good thing that he did it. That to me now goes, maybe that's not the plan, because they're going to give him a 1-year reign with his own private belt. You know?
No.
Okay.
I'm going to assume this is just not as clear of a story as
I
you
hope.
think.
I hope not.
JDC, the former Fandango.
Yes.
Putting in a good effort here. You know how I feel about rules. I love rules. I'm a nerd.
There are now no rules.
If you were like, there's a no parking sign, I wouldn't park there. Like, I love rules. If you were like, no loading and unloading, I'm not loading or unloading in that zone. Like, that's just the kind of woman I am. But like with the Heritage Cup, I think it's always good on a product that is 2 hours or longer to have something with stipulations like that to make the product feel interesting. Like there's just something nice about
up things. Like It was really, I really enjoyed the thing of like, okay, it's basically a 2 out of 3 falls match with timed rounds. I didn't love how many of the dudes holding the title cheated all the time.
Interference.
Yeah. But a lot of the matches were excellent. Like why couldn't Tony D is a literal mob boss and he doesn't try to change the rules? You know,
he doesn't need his family apparently, but yeah, I mean, it certainly doesn't feel like Lexis King's kind of match. And because they lied to us, I mean, lied beyond lied to us, and were like, he's basically his dad, when that just wasn't the story that they've told over the past year and a half with him. Like he should, if he's gonna be like his dad, he should be rebelling against rules. He shouldn't want that. But Noam Dar is perfect, and I love him, and I want him to come back and be like, no, there are rules. I'm here for Kate.
It's the exact right story.
Yeah.
He should come back and he say, I will beat you according to your own rules.
But then I will bring back the rules.
And then I will bring back the rules when I am champion.
Like a legend. Because I'm Noam Dar. And I'm going to look so cool doing it, and I'm going to be funny.
Right. I think because this is how they tell stories. He's going to come back and he's going to get Alexis King to agree to an old Heritage Cup rules match with non-title, and then Noam Dar is going to win that, and then okay, well now I want a title match since I beat you, but it has to be under my rules, and also I just amended the rules. Now there's a 5-minute time limit, one fall, and if you don't beat me, then I win. And then Noam Dar can't quite get it done in 5 minutes. And so now I'm still the champion. He should, if you're gonna do this thing, have him be this maniacal dude who just changes the rules before the match every time to suit himself. No, you can't use any submission moves on me, or you lose. That's my rule. I'm the king. I get to make rules because I'm the king. And the rule is you use submission moves on me. So see if you can beat me that way. And everybody has to. If you're gonna make this dude Douchebeard the Pirate King, if you're gonna make him,
you gotta go all in on being a douchebeard. Then
do the whole thing. Jambeard says I now need a Paul Burchill versus Douchebeard the Pirate Lexis King match. Heritage Walk the Plank match. That is how he should lose lose the title in a walk the plank match. If you lose, you have to walk the plank. Set up a big tank of water in the parking lot, put a blindfold on him, make him walk the plank and jump into the freezing water. That would be a lot of fun.
That would be a lot of fun, and we know they have a boat with LED screens. We saw the Viking Raiders use one.
Mm-hmm. That's true. Yes, JDC, I don't want to blow by this. JDC, the former Fandango, did a very good job in this match. Looked really good. Hit that big leg drop.
So good.
It was really good. It was really good.
Except
for the fact that Lexis King won. It was a very, very good match. Oh my God, Orion Ben, would be the best thing. He jumps in and he comes back up and the beard is running down his neck. That would be the best thing. Now, if they don't do it, I will be so disappointed.
You made up the part that he was a pirate, so I think it's unlikely that they do it.
Ricky Starks, or whatever your name is. This is a free one for you.
Osiris Griffin.
Yeah.
Ellen Parsons.
Cut a promo on Lexis King where you call him Douchebeard the Pirate. It's going to get over. Everyone's going to start going, yar, whenever he comes out. It's going to be excellent.
JDC is quite good. I don't really follow TNA. I'm reviewing ROH while TNA is on.
Yeah.
So I'm not really as familiar with the system or JDC or any of that. So I am completely biased and not at all objective at a total quote unquote mark when I say I kind of just wish he was still Fandango.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, for sure.
He's great at this. Don't get me wrong. He was excellent tonight. The more serious persona works for him. Mm-hmm. I did see when he was doing those Wrestling Sucks vignettes things. Those were awesome. Mm-hmm. Very talented performer. I'm sure he's great on TNA. Mm-hmm. I don't doubt that. He was wonderful when I saw him at Excite Wrestling where I do commentary. Wonderful. Very selfless in the ring too. But I miss the fashion files.
Yes.
So that's just me.
It was God, it was the best. Oh,
it was so good.
So backstage, Zelta and Soul, the odd couple tag team whose ceilings is so much further higher than this, are backstage being like, "Hey, we got a tag team match. We won a tag match last week or whenever it was. We need to prepare to get a shot at the tag title. So what do you say?" Let's go. Let's do a training at the beach this weekend. Okay, but if we do it, we're doing it my way. No, I think we should do it my way, which means you know what we're getting on Vengeance Day. They're going to run a 3-minute vignette of Zelta and Solruka bonding over Zelta being bad at surfing and Solruka not being able to pick up giant rocks and hurl them into the sea.
No.
Yes, that's what we're getting, Kate.
No.
That is the thing we're getting.
Here's the only thing that could save it. I'm going to do the showdown here from now. The only thing that could save it is if Shinsuke Nakamura is in it but not acknowledged. Yeah. If he's just surfing in the background. Mm-hmm. So that everyone who's like, let Shinsuke surf, they just do. Mm-hmm. But he goes unbothered. I'm doing the showdown here.
That's good.
Until you come up with a better idea than that.
Yeah.
But then Nikita Lyons comes in.
MD Cyclo says if Zelta F5's a shark, then it's worth it.
And I'm back up. See, that's all that took.
Thank you, Cyclo. Thank you, Cyclo.
If she F5's a shark.
Yeah.
Even if it's a dolphin, honestly.
Yeah. Nikita Lyons shows up and like, the beach? Imagine me at the beach.
No?
I'd rather not. And anyway, so like she talks crap to Zelta, who talks crap back. But again, I don't know why she's putting on all the makeup if she's never allowed to wrestle. Anyway, so
she wrestled tonight.
I understand, but not until this point. When does she wake up in the morning before she leaves the house and puts all that on, or is it tattooed on her face like those ladies who tattoo on their eyeliner so they don't have to do it in the morning? Nikita calling herself Big Cat Kita was just like, that is definitely a thing they're going to try and get over. And thankfully, when she has you face me tonight, and Zelta and Nikita, thankfully it was not as competitive as I feared it was going to be. They allowed Zelta to mollywop her near the end.
It was a fun opponent for Zelta, because Nikita's big and strong, and it wasn't like, look at Zelta throw around a little young lady. Mm-hmm. I feel like for our big cat. Which it arguably is true. A lion is undoubtedly a large cat.
Yeah.
Do we feel like maybe she's back, but she's not so back? Like, does she maybe not seem so comfortable yet, and that's why she hasn't been getting, like... I feel really bad, because she had 2 back-to-back injuries that were both very severe.
Back-to-back knee injuries. That's got to be really tough to come back from. You know what I mean? So, like, he's easing her way back into it. And again, you and I, just based entirely on the way they were presenting her and promoting her, we thought she was a shoo-in to end Mandy Rose's title reign.
Yes, they told us that.
That was in 2022. Like, that was where we were watching they were telling us this is the woman who is eventually going to get in a I'm hotter than you are feud with Mandy Rose and then beat it. And then beat it.
It was perfect. The girl who was always in the pool, Mandy Rose, and the girl in the reverse bathing suit, Nikita Lyons.
Yeah, they're mortal enemies.
Yeah.
Like the girl in the bathing suit and the girl in the reverse bathing suit. They're like the yin and the yang. You know?
She really did have reverse bathing suit, Gary. You had to be there. It was a moment. Yeah. But also, Mandy Rose was always in the pool for a while there.
Yeah. Anyway, okay. Hey, look at the Ryan Sully with scoops. Hey, Sour Graps, Alex, Killer Kate. So we can rule out Osiris Griffin as Ricky's new name. That is going to Joshua Black, since that's his new handle on X. It is a nod to his Egyptian heritage. Good for him. Keep up the great work, you two. Thank you very much, Ryan Sully, for the scoop. And we are the first one, I believe, the first NXT podcast to divulge that to the people, if they did not know.
We are. We just outscooped Corey Brennan. Corey
So yes, Zelta beat Nikita Lyons, and Zelta and Sol are going to do something on the beach. How much you want to bet Nikita Lyons runs in with like a loaded beach ball and bonks somebody on the head with it? I don't know. I was going to say surfboard, but they're just going to use that too many props. But.
You know how I never shut up. Well, in general, but about that Samoa Joe and CSJ tag match.
Yes, I do. You do never show up about that.
I do. But they had this really fun story in it where it's so good. Just go watch it. Mm-hmm. But they had this really fun story in it where Zach just kept doing all this technical stuff and being like, can you do that, Samoa Joe? And Samoa Joe could. And then they tag in and out doing that. And then eventually Samoa Joe was like, you know what I can do, though? I can just chuck dudes and beat the crap out of them. And you, Cutie Pie, can't do that.
Yeah.
If there was something on the beach where it was like that in a friendly way of like Sol Ruka being like, look at all this incredible acrobatic stuff, and then she could do some of it, and then was like, yeah, but there's a threshold that I'm going to not do that, and instead I'm just going to do this. Like that, there could be something really fun there.
That's where the F5ing of a shark comes in.
Exactly.
Where like I'm doing backflips and cartwheels, and I'm doing backflips on a surfboard, and Zelta's like, what do you got? And Zelta's like, she storms off into the beach, down to the water, and then a shot of Sol Ruka going as Zelta walks back up onto the beach with a shark and F5s the shark. That's the end. Do it.
Perfect.
We wrote it for you. Javon they do a vignette of Javon, the Javon and Ethan Page thing. How much you want to bet that this vignette needed to be edited after Friday? I'll bet you anything there were scenes of Ethan Page injuring Cedric Alexander, Javon Evans' on-screen tag partner. He injured him twice. Cedric Alexander stuck up for Javon Evans 2 times, and both times Ethan Page injured him. And that he was released on Friday, and so now none of that happened, and we can never refer to him again. Which I think you should do it in kayfabe that he got written off. Like he got injured so badly by Ethan Page, we don't know if we'll ever see him again. I mean,
think that makes a whole lot of sense.
That's a lot better than like
storyline is it went too far
matches,
anyway.
Yeah, those matches never happened. You know what I mean? Like the part of the story was while Javon Evans wasn't cleared, his friend fought Ethan Page on his behalf to defended his honor. And as a result of that, his friend is now injured badly. And because that adds more fuel to the fire of Javon Evans. You've taken part of why he wants to beat up Ethan Page away from him in this match by releasing Cedric Alexander when there was no need to do it now instead of any other time. I just don't. Anyway, Javon Evans in this vignette, they have a guy that his doctor of jaw.
His doctor.
His doctor. His doctor. They had him saying his recovery is progressing on schedule. However, there is a chance that that he could injure the jaw even worse if he were to have a match. I will reluctantly clear him. I'm comfortable doing that. However, I would prefer that he not wrestle right now because if something really bad happens to his jaw, there is a chance he will never be cleared to wrestle again because he got braces. Like I'm convinced that's why he was out and what they're covering for, which honestly has been a good thing. But
it's been great. Yeah. Alex, can I ask you a question?
Yes, please.
Did you need the doctor on the camera to tell you that, or would you have just believed it if that was relayed to you in some other way?
I don't think you needed a Dr. David Cohen in a lab coat to tell me about it. I don't think we needed a documentary crew to go to Dr. David Cohen's practice in St. Pete and ask Dr. David Cohen, who, by the way, is not taking any new patients right now, but he made an exception for Javon Evans. He is the greatest doctor in the Gulf of America area. Dr. David Cohen.
I can't believe he felt comfortable being on screen to deliver such a message.
Yeah. Anyway, so it should be. This is he says, hey, you saw that? You saw this guy who was interviewed by a documentary crew. He said that I'm clear to wrestle, so I get Ethan Page at Vengeance Day, right? Yes, you've been cleared, so I can give you a thing. However, I really don't think that you should do it because of your job. What happens if it gets re-injured? You might not be able to wrestle again. And Javon Evans is like, so do I get the match or not? Okay, well, here, I need you to sign this. It's a waiver in case you get horribly injured in this match that it's not WWE's fault. And it's like, so I want you to think about it. And he goes, okay, signs it. I thought about it. And he leaves. Javon Evans is great at this. He is a friggin' wunderkind. Like, we're getting such a fantastic Javon Evans versus Ricky Starks program. Like, it's gonna be so good. It's gonna be just the best. Like, it really is just gonna be the best.
If they stay out of their own way with some of these, it'll be great. That's just always the if. But like, man, the men's roster really needed a shot in the arm with Ricky. But yeah, Javon, what I'm so glad about is I was so worried he was going to just become bouncy and nothing else.
Right.
And the reason I paused to say that is because I'm glad that there's depth to him, and I'm also glad that he feels so. Just this segment was not a lot, but like he was so natural in it. Like the timing of I thought about it, like didn't have to think about it, kind of thing was really, really good. Like he's great. He's going to be a lot of fun as he continues to work up this card for sure, and I look very forward to him and Ethan.
Yeah, for sure. Yes, and Ramo, I'm also of the belief of this, that Ethan needs to go over Javon at Vengeance Day so that Javon can get the final say and stand and deliver. It's absolutely, it's true. And how much better would this whole thing these next few months be if Javon also had Cedric coming back a third time, trying to get more revenge, and Javon being like, hey, I don't want you to get injured on my behalf again. Shut up, kid. I'm doing this. I'm a man. I can make my own decisions. And then it gets even worse. Like the best part about Cedric is he's always going to do everything right. He's never going to make a misstep. He's always going to tell the story right in the ring. He's not going to win a championship in NXT. So if the best use of him is to further this really great story between Ethan Page and Javon Evans, then he's going to knock that part out of the park. And you just said we don't need him here anymore. Like, it honestly, come on. I think it's a bad idea.
That's fair, but you want to talk about partners that always do things right.
I do.
I've got one for you.
Yeah?
It's a longtime partner of ours.
Oh, yeah?
And they do it all right.
Okay.
I'm talking about NordVPN.
Oh, okay.
Buying pay-per-views on NordVPN.com/Fightful is going to enhance your pay-per-view buying process. Now, one subscription to NordVPN has so many different benefits, but if you're a big pay-per-view buyer like myself, UFC, boxing, pro wrestling, all that good stuff, any combination of the three, if they're doing a fight circus or something like that, this subscription will pay for itself after one or two pay-per-view buys. Change your virtual location, pay for it at the prices that other people are paying for it in the UK, in Australia, etc., and you can get different interfaces. Maybe you don't like Peacock and you want to check out the WWE Network the way that it used to be, the way that it was designed to be, the easy navigation, so on and so forth. Maybe you want to watch AEW without commercials. Maybe there's some other overseas services that you can't subscribe to and you want access to them. NordVPN.com/Fightful gives you that with a great deal and a 30-day money-back guarantee. Even better, 24/7 tech support, so if you have trouble navigating any of it, they can help you out. fastest VPN on the planet, nordvpn.com/Fightful.
Partners. Our tag team partner
Listen, when you said
in broadcasting.
if you have a great partner who's great at doing it, I was like, we already did the Blue Chew sponsor.
No. They're just a partner who's always great. They're great to us. They're great at so many things. They're such a versatile VPN, Alex.
Right, yes.
My favorite tag team partner, sitting right next to me, Alex Pulowski. But if I was building a stable, I needed a sponsor as a part of it, NordVPN.
So Ethan Page had a fantastic vignette as well. He is sunk so deep into this character. This is so much better than, remember when he was being rolled up by Oro Mensah in matches that weren't currently happening and was so upset about it. Can you imagine this guy not just murdering Oro Mensah while he slept? Like, you know what I mean? Like this guy being like, hey, you should stop rolling me up. Hey, ref, come here. Is it legal for him to roll? Is it really a pinfall if this guy rolls me up and it's not a match happening? Ava, this guy won't stop rolling me up when I'm not having matches. And now he's making the crowd chant 1, 2, 3. I'm so mad. That is what they had this guy doing for months. And look at what he's doing now. This is
He
dark,
was doing that
sinister
with the
shit.
title.
He was doing it as the champion. My God. Like the fact that I haven't seen such a dramatic shift to something so much better than it was before in NXT
Not on this
in a
show.
long
Yeah.
time. This is so much better. This is one of the best, the very best psycho characters that I've seen, because it's not over the top.
No, it's very accessible.
It's like, I love his like, wow, you know what? I'm not surprised you got cleared.
Yeah.
You're pretty resilient. You've got all the talent in the world, $1 million smile, and a 10-cent brain. What do you think's going to happen to you when you get in the ring with me this time? It's one punch. But that's not where I'm going to stop, obviously. I hope you have other career plans, because this career, I'm going to end it. Like, he as the kids say, he ate. He ate. And according to Ethan Page, after this match, Javon Evans will be eating through a straw.
I was going to say he cooked. So he cooked for himself.
He cooked and he ate.
Which is wonderful.
It's always better to cook at home than go out and get DoorDash again.
No, come on. This is, I think, my favorite work I've seen Ethan do. And I was a big fan of his ROH stuff, his AEW stuff when he was on screen with Men of the Year. And like he's really, really good. But this is like, he's being used to his potential. Like, this is a more advanced character, and he's capable of a more advanced character. And it also, his in-ring IQ is very high. Like, he wrestles a very intelligent match when he's allowed to. So, I appreciate that they recognized that and shifted, because that is what has happened here, essentially. It's good. It's really, really good. He's excellent. Like, if you had him running as top heel outside of Obafemi, and you had Ricky Starks running as top face for a while, and Obafemi as top tweener and god of the universe. Like, this has been a weak men's division. Put those stakes in the ground. Good to go.
Ethan was cooking, eating, serving, and slaying. He was doing all things. And
that's how good this guy is.
Luis says, please do not say the other thing, Alex. You mean the other thing that the kids say? Riz? Is it Riz? Riz is the other thing. No, that's not the thing that you want me to say. Is it something?
Is it like serving Gunt?
No, that's not it. That's the only thing that we said. We don't know. The kids don't say that.
They should.
I'm trying to remember the thing that I said. Skibbity toilet. That was it. So,
Happy birthday, Matthew Hooks.
Okay, so we have some other things here about Ricky. So here we go.
You're too far from your mic.
Jim Pringle says, "Hi guys, SRS read my welcome message, so hi, I guess." And Dan Beard says, "Kate Smith is about as reliable as Robert Stone."
Accurate. Alex, you're fuzzy on audio.
I'm fuzzy.
There you
Hello.
are. There he is.
Hello.
We are so back.
We're so back, guys. We are so back. Welcome to the quiet storm.
You made the same swing Ethan Page did. You were like way over here, and then way over here, and it got so much better.
Papa Paul Elizabeth brought the good kid a computer. Sorry, not sorry, sis. Ramblin' Ricardo Starco from J.W. Pringle. This request goes out. This request goes out to Kate with terrible internet from her brother J.W. Pringle. He requests that you get better internet and a better computer.
It ain't the internet. My Verizon's good.
Okay, so some other people who sent in stuff about Ricky. By the way, Ricky showed up before the right after they interviewed Trick Williams. Ricky Starks showed up, and I was like, "Ricky's coming for Trick Williams," and no, he was just making an announcement just to say stuff. You know what I mean? So
it was great too. Like he came through the crowd. He looked like $1 million. He established.
You obviously know who I am because they were chanting his name.
Don't let the handsome face and the expensive fragrance fool you. He's so good, man.
He's so good. He is top 2 in WWE on the mic, and he's not number 2. He's gonna take this place over if they let him. My God. Will Chisholm says, "Stroke Daddy is NXT." LOL. Let's see here. Jambeard says Kate's PC to NXT and rebranded as Rice Krispie. Is that a PC? It's a Mac. That's the problem. So Mr. Burt Wayne says, "Do you believe by design they didn't mention him by name because they wanted the audience to react? Now knowing the fans were previously familiar with Cargill, King, and Page when they debuted."
I don't know what their thought process is. My thinking is he was freed yesterday from his AEW contract. This probably came together very, very quickly, and there are a lot of nuances with someone's name to figure out. I think it's probably more a matter of that. They might have wanted to test the audience reaction, because he definitely said, "You obviously know who I am." That feels pointed with the fact that they didn't say his name. If there's an ownership issue, I'm sure he'll be Ricky Starks with the Z, and that'll be it.
Yeah. I did appreciate Vic Joseph doing a Mike Tenay from the mid-aughts. "We know who that is," but never saying his name.
It was really good. He's so good.
What's Starkly Richard doing in the Impact Zone? Bargov says, "Damn, I may have to start watching NXT for Ricky." He would be a dude to start for.
Yeah.
He would be a dude to start for sure.
In the time that we've been covering the show together, this is the best it's been, probably. I think that's fair to say.
I think that's certainly fair to say, simply because the influx of the amazing women, the women who started, who were young, who were toddlers a couple of years ago, are now absolutely ready to burst onto that level with the 3 women they just brought in. Obafemi is the best NXT champion they've had since I don't know when.
He's the best wrestler to ever exist. So
I mean, but even without doing anything that might be construed as hyperbole, like he feels like the most important dude on the entire roster. as opposed to like Braun Breaker. You could have made an argument with like it was him or this thing. Carmelo Hayes like did his stuff, and he's like, I am him, and it never really felt like he was him. He was like it was him A or him B. I'm not really sure which one he was.
The booking was always the hell in the way, man. Like
that was but they seem to recognize that it's harder. It is so damn easy for these people to just go, well, look at him and book him like an absolute monster. You know what I mean? Like they have to actively attempt to get in their own way with a guy like Obafemi, and it's very different. And that I think makes him a little bulletproof to all the BS that they've been doing for the past several years. This honestly has been doing really excellent stuff. So we have a question here from Vin who says, with the potential of Black and Rusev, is WWE redoing the Mania card? Maybe give Drew something better? I don't think anybody's getting redrawn. I think it would be really cool for me. I don't think there's any place to really use either of them right now on Mania. I think they've got people that I think deserve a spot at Mania, considering the 2024 that they had. They deserve to be not shuffled out of the spot. So Damian Priest, I'm fine having a spot at Mania. Drew, LA Knight, I'm fine with those guys getting a spot on the card. Okay. So what I want them to do is to make the Raw after Mania what the Raw after Mania used to be. Can you imagine somebody really like interesting cutting a promo in the crowd, and the lights go out, and we just do and then the candles lit on the stage, and Aleister Black comes up in the friggin' coffin, like that would be a thing that would make me feel like I used to feel watching WWE. Surprises, new things, cool stuff. Like that would be really great. I want that.
I think a Death Rebel Aleister Black theme might break me. It might break me.
No, they have to bring him back with that, or I don't think he should sign the contract.
No, he really shouldn't.
He shouldn't sign the contract. He should. I am serious when I say he should not sign the contract unless that is his theme music.
Because they'll give it to him.
It's his character. No man is ever truly good. No man is ever truly evil. I am the devil, but I do not know why I am the devil is the best description of any character ever. It's why I'm so upset that they never really have figured out a way to harness that and make it into anything anywhere.
Yeah, the devil with amnesia, right? Like that's how you described it.
So good, man. Get Cord Orange back. Get it back.
Aleister Black.
No, the
dance remix will be some bullshit.
Will Chisholm says, I need Ricky and Drew in a promo off.
All day. Guys, like, if you haven't seen Ricky Starks' Maximum Potential, him and LA Knight will feed families, villages, countries.
Love for Boost says, if Ricky didn't come with his music, he should come out with no music till they have someone competent enough to make him a banger.
That's why they didn't say his name today. He heard Def Rebel do, like, Ricky Starks. And he was like, I'm not even being called that until you get rid of that shit.
No, can't do it. KE775 says, can we expect a Jordan Grace appearance on Saturday at Vengeance Day?
Can't expect like in a not reported way. We don't have evidence to believe that. There's nothing from Sean or Corey. What I can tell you is that she's in Orlando and she's expected to be working NXT. So showing up at a PLE would make a ton of sense. She's another one that is not long for NXT. She's another one that I think, because WrestleMania is pretty set, will probably be down here to work some champions, and then we'll go up to the main roster sooner than later. That is what Sean and Corey have heard. So it wouldn't be outrageous to think she shows up.
Yeah. Oh yeah. It's Mr. Chase getting assaulted by a couple of frat bros. Like Brogan Finley, whose name is Uriah Connors, is now like, hey, so what's up?
What are these names?
What are we doing? How's it going, Mr. Chase? You are a legend around these parts, man. What's up? Like, what's that I hear about? How Chase U is dead? It's dead. Yeah, no, I can't. Like, but come on, hang out with us. Let's go get a brewski. Like, who are these dudes?
I don't know, but it's nice to know that someone feels the same way about Duke not being around anymore as I do.
Yeah, no, he's very sad. Yeah. Oh my god. Jeez. Anyway, he won't talk to them and he leaves. And like, why does he keep saying that Chase U is dead? Yeah, we'll see about that. So what are they gonna do? We talked about this. They're gonna do like the dudes version of the OnlyFans calendar and get enough money to restart the university. Cale Dixon and Uriah Connors.
What are these names? Kale, which we agree is the most bitter and worst of leafy vegetables.
Yeah.
And Uriah Connors. Those are not wrestling names.
Uriah?
You're wrong. Sometimes Uriah, sometimes you're wrong.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't get it.
It's just not a wrestling name at all.
It's not. Yeah. Yeah. Give me a name of a urinary disease and a generic doctor surname.
Yeah, pretty much.
Mm-hmm. Sounds like it. Ryan L says, Kate mentioned New Beginning. I would love your thoughts on Goto winning. It's already said that. The Tanahashi match and the Bullet Club breakup with no Finlay around. Will he be joining the Absolute One, Dick Lannister, in NXT?
Finley's really interesting because his absence almost makes me think that he did resign. They need him and Gabe Kidd really bad right now. Finley, I think, had more of a breakout couple months than people expected. I would encourage you to watch his match with Brody King from Wrestle Dynasty if you haven't. New Beginning, I thought was a home run show front to back. Everything paid off in some interesting way. It breaks my heart that Zach lost, but I'm very happy for Goto. Like, he deserves it, and Zach will be back. Excellent match. Whole show was super fun, and the Bullet Club's been very, very interesting. Gabe Kidd is a wild X factor in all of this because he's a babyface somehow, but he still talks so much shit, much shit. Yeah. He was going after Bischoff the other day. It was awesome. He's so funny. He tweeted "Roll Tide" during the Super Bowl. I love that guy. He's a madman, you know.
Yes. Jambeard saying as fun fact, not only did Code Orange do Black's great theme, they also did the Fiend theme and I think Bray's theme when he returned. They did indeed do that.
Like you can't. You gotta stop. No, you can't. It's gotta stop.
Apparently, Julia and Vicaire met backstage. So when I said she had no screen time, I was lying, but I didn't see it, so I wasn't lying. I just was not informed of any. They're just hanging out backstage, is what they got for Stephanie and Julia.
I was literally walking my dog. So.
Yeah, there you go. So a very quick, very, very, very quick a special bonus episode of This Is Cinema. Tony D'Angelo's acting debut on the season premiere of Wild Cards last week. I did, in fact, DVR it. I did, in fact, watch it. He's in 3 scenes, and he's very good.
Tony D.
He's very good. He is the leader of a group. He's the leader of a Fast and Furious crew.
Okay.
They're hot rodsters. They're the tuners who drive around in fast cars, and they stole a machine that prints money that was being transported to the mint.
That's how Rookie Starks got to NXT.
There you go. That's how they did it.
Get it? Machine that prints money.
He was very good.
Starks is a machine that prints money.
He was very good.
I'm fired tonight.
He was very good. I do not anticipate ever watching another second of that particular show because it does not interest me. But he was as good or better than the leads. You know what I mean? And he's just a dude who's in there for 3 scenes, and
What if he's back on the show? Will you watch that?
I don't think so. They arrested him off camera. He was not. The show is not. The show
Gallus
is
involved.
No.
Where's Gallus?
I don't know. No, I don't know where Gallus is. He was arrested off screen. Like the show is very much a case of the week. Where this con woman is trying to help this cop find the guy who shot her brother. And every week they're going to get closer to finding the guy who shot her brother. While they're doing that, they're going to do jobs for the cops. And this week we got to knock over this crime ring of stealing stuff. And he's like, all right, everybody, your $1 million in cash is tossing over there. I'm going to get in this van and drive to Canada. And then 10 minutes later, they were like, oh, by the way, Detective Yates picked up Jaws on the run. He's been arrested.
Oh, no.
There's mentioned it. So, I mean, I do wish that he had more things to do there, but he was very good in the scenes he was in.
Good.
Maybe he's got other episodes of other things to film because they wrote him off pretty hard at the end of this particular thing. Him and backstage before the match with Ridge Holland, he's like Stax is apologizing. I'm really sorry for everything here, to the point where I was like, he's gonna turn, because they usually don't have anybody apologize for anything unless they're doing it insincerely. And he's like, no, listen, it's fine. We're family, but it's a steel cage match. I got to do it by myself.
Alex, what did they say?
When you're here, you're family, and we're here means inside a cage. What?
Forget about it.
Oh, what do they say? Forget about it. What do we always say? Forget about it. So, Tony D is like Izzy is just part of the crew now. She's sitting with them. He's not doing the Mariah Carey meme. I don't know her. She's sitting there with them. This is fine. Everyone comes out there, but Izzy Dame doesn't come out with Stax and Luca and Big Ange to be the cage match is a cage match. It's fine. There were some big bumps into the side of the cage that looked like they probably really hurt.
Well, nobody escapes unscathed from a steel cage, Alex.
Well, nobody escapes, which is a big deal. They did not do the escape the cage rule, which is always beneficial. Never should we escape the cage. This was fine. There's nothing wrong with this. Tony D hits a spear on Ridge Holland that is immediately the second best spear in WWE. Like, Braun Breaker's the only one that's better than it. Like, he had such velocity and timing on that thing. It was so damn good.
Ricky Starks is here now, so we've got another great spear showing up, because...
Ricky Starks is not as good as the spear that Tony D hit in this match on Ridge Holland. Ricky Starks' best spear was not half as good as the spear Tony D hit on Ridge Holland tonight. Maybe that was a lucky one from Tony D, and he'll never do one that good again. Maybe it's one of those guys, like a utility infielder who got lucky with the right pitch and hit a 500-foot home run. Maybe it's that.
This time he used Blue Chew to make sure that his spear was on point.
Maybe it was. This was really, really, really good. And then Izzy Dame is out, and she's obviously got something slid up her sleeve to hide it. And then she wants to give it to Tony D. And Stax is like, no, hey, don't do that. I'll give it to him. And I was like, that doesn't make a lot of sense here. Like, whatever. It gets slid into the ring, and Ridge gets it first. And Ridge beats him on, and he actually does a running clothesline with the thing up against his arm to the back of his head. And as he hit him with the thing, and I was like, the ref is right there. I guess it's no DQ in a cage match. You can just slide anything into the ring. But if that's the case, then why was Izzy Dame surreptitiously hiding the crowbar up her sleeve?
At all, yeah.
Like it was an ace in a game of poker. Like, what are we doing? Why are we like, I want to see anybody I don't want anybody to see me cheating in a match I'm allowed to cheat in. Is a weird thing for her to do.
Maybe she just wanted to be like sexy about it.
When he hit him in the back of the head with a crowbar, I was like, Ridge Holland is the new NXT North American champion. And Tony D is going to be pissed at Stacks for throwing the thing in when he shouldn't have, and there's going to cause a rift between them. And we're going to get the breakup of the Tony D'Angelo family, which I don't want, but I thought that's what they're going to do with Tony D'Angelo while they have Ridge Holland as the NXT North American champ, who then loses it to Ricky Starks. Perfect dude to have that title and have Ricky come after it. Ricky as the North American champ with Oba as the world champ is the way.
I did the same exact math that you did.
That exact same thing. And then Tony kicked out of the crowbar to the back of the head. He got it himself, hit him a couple of times, then did the big spine buster and won. And I was like, wow. Okay, well, I guess we're getting Tony D versus Ricky Starks. That's going to be a hell of a feud. Tony D had a really good reign. Ricky Starks is going to be, those promos will be a lot of fun.
So
Ricky being
good.
like, listen, Tony Soprano, D'Angelo, what was his name? He totally, he just would keep doing all this stuff. He would have a lot of fun. So, Ridge Holland starts fighting with Stacks and Luca as he gets out of the ring. And he's fighting him. And Izzy's in the ring with Big Ange, but Ridge is fighting with Stacks and Luca backstage. So here comes Sean Spears, Beej, and this guy Nico, who apparently is supposed to be something. And they surround the ring and they get in the ring, and Izzy Dame and Tony D'Angelo are there, and then Tony takes a step forward, and Izzy hits him in with the crowbar, and Izzy was part of the Sean Spears thing the whole time.
Damn you, Dame!
And then they beat him up a lot, and I liked it a lot because they had Stacks and Luca come out to try and help him, but every time they tried to climb up the thing, they would hit their knuckles with chairs as they were climbing up the cage to help them. They chained the cage shut, and then he did a big C4 off the top rope to a chair, and I'm like, this isn't the plan for Mania, right? This is the plan for Roadblock.
Yeah.
This is the plan for Roadblock in New York at Madison Square Garden Theater. Because this isn't the plan for Mania, is it? Because I don't hate this faction the way SP3 apparently does in the but I don't think it's a stand and deliver program. And
no, I actually agree with SP3 and you. I don't dislike it the way he does, but I do feel like this is probably a mid-card to upper mid-card act.
Right.
So I feel like Roadblock would be an appropriate place for it. And also, they're running out of time to pay off the Sean Spears stuff. A lot of nothing has happened. So I think that needs to get kicked into a higher gear than it's been in. Because he's mostly just been very fashionable and weird. So we need to get that moving more.
Mm-hmm. Ace Shock says that SP3 also thinks Obafemi is overrated. And I would like to announce that SP3 will never be a guest host on Sour Graps ever again.
Which we already knew because he likes Darby Allin. So...
I was willing to overlook that, but that, in addition to slander, blasphemy,
a bridge too far, SP3.
Heresy against Obafemi, the one true ruler, just not happening. Anyway, they take him out, and I don't think they do another one of the teases for Vengeance Day, but maybe they did, and it got cut off where I was watching. But
I hate to be this person.
Mm-hmm.
After Ricky Starks debuted, I was kind of just like,
I get you.
Can you believe Ricky Starks debuted? That was just where my head was at.
So Aaron S asks, who is the group at NXT as it goes off the air? I don't know. They're going to be revealed on Saturday.
That was Facing Lakes and and Jovi McMyers and Salad. Just Salad. No last name.
Salad.
Just Salad. No name. No last name.
He's got 2 Ds. Salad with 2 Ds.
Salad with 2 Ds. All caps.
Uh-huh.
And Floria Goria.
Floria Goria.
Yep.
Like Julia Gulia.
Yeah. Floria Goria. That's the group.
They showed them wearing Michael Tarver-esque masks. My CW got cut off early then because that was not shown to me. I got to check out that thing. But young Don LaPark. Yes, this was a teaser with people wearing skull masks. Young spry 59-year-old LaPark to NXT confirmed. No, I don't think it's going to be him.
Retribution.
Well,
it's back, baby.
They're back, baby. Will Chisholm says Ricky did come out like Scott Hall in WCW.
He did.
He absolutely did. You know my name, but you don't know why I'm here. Legendary.
So good.
Will Chisholm says also EO started hating everybody after Kyrie left WWE. LOL. So now I hate people. LOL.
That's fair.
Okay. We have a good number of Ricky names.
Hell yeah, let's go.
Alpha Bill says toll for sending Kate's laptop to the great beyond. Yes, that'll be good. It's gonna be Dusty's new laptop. Just Ricardo says Hickey Marks. Jordan S says absolutely not Ricky Martin. Ellen Jeanette says Ricky Marks. Meet Norma says Rake Leaf Albatross. Randy Stalks. Rick Stonks. C. Delgado says the rebellion is broadcast. Dickie Sparks. Jambeard says salad fingers. Salad. Tom LaValle says Ricky Runnels. Ricky Maivia, still my leader. And Rick Star Jazzman. Louisville says Starkey Starks and the Funky Bunch. That's the name of his new stable.
I like it. I'm in.
Starkey Stark and the Funky Bunch. Yes.
100%.
Let's see here. Smiker says Zoe's brother, Joey Stark.
Oh, fantastic.
Or Vodka Air, Joseph Absolute.
I'm in on that.
Okay. Okay. Joseph Molina says Bob Johnson. Oh, wait. Insert clever Nixon Newell pun says Rickson Stocks.
It sounds like Fox and Sox.
Alan Jeanette says Ricky Starks as Rick Rude Jr. Meet Norma says Richard Angle. Tweak that Jason Jordan nonsense. Stark Richard. Stark Richard. Make him French and join Imperium. Starkhammer. New leader of Retribution 2.0.
Stark Richard.
Jambeard says Ricky McStarface. Starkey Ricks. Rick Dust, Ricky Fatu Uso, or Ricky Six?
Well, he didn't show up in Black Hoodie.
So he can't be a member of the
He's not
bloodline.
a part of the, yeah.
Jordan S. says absolute Ricky Speedboat.
Well, then we know he's a babyface for sure.
Just Ricardo says Dwayne the Rick Starkson.
I'm in. I'm in on that.
Eric L. Smith says Ricky Starks, Atlanta Sparks, Spray Starch, Lakers in 5. C. Delgado says Rick Ishii.
Huge Jey Uso fan.
Ricardo Montalban. Ricky Arnez Jr. Jambeard says Rick Starkalo. Bam Bam Bigelow. Rick Starber Jr. Ricky Starks 2000.
Just all the ones to pop us. I love it so much.
Richo Man Starvage and Rowdy Ricky Starper. Alpha Bill says Ricky Storks and Duck Hudson, the sexy birds. Meet Norma says Absolute Starks Speedboat. Rick O'Shea teaming with Sheamus. Rick Starkey, absoluter than evil. Pebble McUso, Guapo Fatu, Absolution Yambag Jones. Jambeard says Ricky Starkers. Lake says, in the same vein as Paul Heyman's old identity, Rick E. Dangerously.
Perfect.
Orion Ben says, Rick Desperado. Pretty Ricky Tavi. Rick Saw Stardom. Just Ricardo says, Dickie Spanks. Mr. Showtime says, Dickie Marks the Revolution. Alpha Bill says, Dickie Storks or Ricky Sparkles. Ian
Ricky
R.
Sparkles,
says,
I like.
Ian R. says, Prickly Sparks. Brian Medina says, Ricky Fightful Starks. Lieutenant Photo
We'd
says,
love that.
Stroke. Lieutenant Photo says, Stroke Rochambeau.
I can't wait to see his finisher again. It's so cool.
Meet Norma says, Roughneck Starship. Rolando Seattle. McCready Buckknuckles. Rio Trickle. Raul Steamship. Zeppelin Alvarez. Crossbow the Hulk. Jangle Kitten Mittens. Meet Norma says, Gunty Starks. Not a German U-boat captain. No. Gumbo Raleigh. I like this one. This is actually if they somehow brought Miro in and had him team with Ricky Starks, their team name would absolutely be Rosev, but with an EAUX for Rosev, because he's from New Orleans. Not Rusev.
I'm in on
Rosev. That. I like that a lot. Taz would just call him Osiris Jones. Osiris Jones over here. JW Pringle says the superstar formerly known as Rocky Rhodes. Jambeard says, I gotta say, a few people have now accidentally spelled Ricky as Rixie. Like, because of the typos. And Rixie Stark definitely feels how NXT would spell his name.
1,000,000,000%.
And Smikers, Joey Stark, Vodka Air, Absolute. And Jordan S says Ricky Roll, and then says cue music. Never gonna give you up, never gonna let you.
Whatever
go.
keeps us from getting a Death Rebel theme, man.
Mm-hmm. Oh my God, yes, license that for him. Okay, we have some jukeboxes to go out on. Okay, I have 2 Rickies. Oh, okay, here we go. We have a Gunther. Gunther to sing "Don't Touch My Clogs" by OCT. All right. Years before I was born, Father told this to me. It was one Christmas morning in 73. There was one lonely gift nestled under the tree. My grandfather says, don't touch my... He said, boy, don't listen close. I am saying this once. There was one by my parents and their parents' parents. Now they're yours, but be sure to guard them with your life. He said, don't ever let them touch my clogs. You can take my cash. You can burn my house. You could force feed trash. I'd let you kick my balls while I chewed on glass before I even let you thought about letting someone touch my clogs. You have to take my life. You have to steal my dog. You have to beat my wife. Have to kill my mom with a rusty knife. You'll have to break my legs before I ever let you touch my clogs. Yeah. Thank you for that.
That was beautiful. I was moved.
Okay. Nya girl. You have 2.
I have 2?
You have 2. One from last week where they actually found the lyrics to Duke Hudson's first WWE theme.
Oh my gosh.
So why don't you do that one, and then you have one right below that.
Oh my goodness. I've been struck by lightning, thunder in my soul, because I'm pure born evil now. At least that's what I've been told. Sweet smell of Hessian raining down on me, because I've been begging on this crucifix now to rid the devil I see. I've been hoping that he's given up looking on me. There's no angel coming down to set me free. The hangman's gonna find me. The hangman's gonna find me. The hangman is gonna find me. Yeah. Thank you so much.
Very, very good. Okay, Braun Strowman, as requested, by Louisville to sing "Take a Chance on Me" by ABBA. If you change your mind, I'm the first in line. Honey, I'm still free. Take a chance on me. If you need me, let me know. Gonna be around. If you got no place to go when you're feeling down. If you're all alone when the pretty birds have flown, honey, I'm still free. Take a chance on me. Gonna do my very best, and it ain't no lie. If you put me to the test, if you let me try. Take a chance, take a chance, take a chance, take a chance, take a chance. Get these chances.
It was beautiful.
Good. Do you want to do your next Neil girl?
Work it, make it, do it, make us harder, better, faster, stronger. More than hour never, ever after. Work is over. Work it, make it, do it, make us harder, better, faster, stronger. Work it harder, make it better, do it faster, make us stronger. More than ever, hour after hour. Work is never over. Work it harder, make it better, do it faster, make us stronger. More than ever, hour after hour. Work is literally never over. Work it harder, make it better, do it faster, make us stronger. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. Okay. Let's see here. Tom LaValle wants Dusty to do Macho Man's promo from an episode of Arsenio Hall.
I know what you're talking about.
Well, yeah, it's okay for Macho Man to throw every emotion available right there. You know, because I've cried 1,000 times, and I'm gonna cry some more. But I've soared with eagles, and slithered with the snakes, and everywhere in between, Daddy. And I'm gonna tell you something right now. There's one guarantee in life, and that is that there are no guarantees, baby daddy. Ooh, yeah. That's it. That's the whole promo.
It was beautiful.
There's promo. Hey, Macho, you remember going on Arsenio when you did that promo about crying? He remembers. He gave me the thumbs up. That Macho, he's so crazy. He's on the slot machine, so he doesn't want to come over here. He's on a hot streak. Anyway, how you been doing? I haven't seen you in a while.
Well, I've been good. How have you been recovering from your hangovers, Dusty? Because you were
listen, don't even bring that up. That is all hearsay, is what that is. That is hearsay.
We here saw it, sir.
No, this is not true at all. This is a thing that only happens behind the paywall. So here we go. I gotta go. Bye.
Okay, bye.
I don't like being accused of things.
Look, you were forgetting your keys. You lost your wallet.
These are scurrilous accusations.
There is audio of you, sir.
All right, well, that's it.
Behind the paywall at FightfulSelect.com, best $6 in the biz.
You cannot prove that was me. Anyway, goodbye.
Literally. Hi,
Don't
Ricky.
you accuse Dusty of things like that. That's
well,
not
hold
at all who he
on.
was. No.
I know for a fact he was.
No. Orion Ben says Rick Desperado, Pretty Ricky Tavi, and Rick Saw Stardom. And then he says it's not a jukebox, it's a Rick box. He wants Ricky Rainbow, that's me, doing Ricky by Fleetwood Mac. Ricky, can you hear me cry? Didn't even say goodbye. No one looks and no one sees. Ricky, won't you tell me, please? Tell me. Oh, Ricky, won't you come out tonight? Oh, Ricky, tell me. Oh, Ricky, won't you come out tonight? Oh, how I miss you so. Never gonna let you go. No one looks and no one sees. Ricky, won't you tell me, please? Tell me. Oh, Ricky, won't you come out tonight? Oh, tell me. Oh, Ricky, won't you come out tonight? You know. Stevie Nicks wrote that about me.
Oh, really?
It's true. I was the one who broke up her and Lindsey Buckingham or whatever his name was.
That's correct. That was his name. I didn't know that about you. You're so scandalous.
Yeah. Oh, well, listen, it was a long time ago in the 70s. I barely remember it, honestly. So here we go. In honor of Ricky's social handle, Ricky Rainbow to sing Starman by David Bowie. Hey now, goodbye, love. Didn't know what time it was. When the lights were low, I leaned back on my radio. Some cat was laying down some rock and roll. Lot of soul, he said. Then the loud sound did seem to fade. Came back like a slow voice on a wave of phase. That weren't no DJ, that was hazy cosmic jive. There's a starman waiting in the sky. He'd like to come and meet us, but he thinks he'd blow our minds. There's a starman waiting in the sky. He told us not to blow it, because he knows it's all worthwhile. He told me, let the children lose it. Let the children use it. Let all the children boogie. And that David Bowie wrote that song about me.
Oh, really?
I was a starman waiting in the sky.
That one I definitely like. I of course believe everything you say, but that one I'm less surprised by.
No, it was horrible. It was a parasailing accident, and so I was just flying up there for the longest time. And so David had all that time to write a whole song about me, and I was wearing my spangled jumpsuit. So it looked like I was a star up there because I was all sparkly. And so that was why he wrote it about me.
Did the children boogie?
It took me 3 days to come down.
3 days?
It was awful. Yeah, I got very thirsty. Meet Norma says Ricky Rainbow to sing My Nyamis by Eminem. Hi, my nyamis. What? My nyamis. Who? My nyamis. Chicka, Slim Shady. Hi, my nyamis. Huh? My name is what? My nyamis. Chicka, Slim Shady. Hi, my name is what? Excuse me. My name is who? My name is Chicka, Slim Shady. Can I have the attention of the class for 1 second? Hi, my name is huh? My name is what? My name is Chicka, Slim Shady. My name's not Slim Shady. My name is Ricky Rainbow.
But I like that you both have alliteration.
Mm-hmm. Eminem did not write that song about me.
No?
No, he did not.
Interesting.
LaRon Ford would like to request for Alex to sing Happy Birthday to my daughter, who turned 18 today.
Oh my goodness.
In whatever wrestler's voice he chooses. Well, hold on. I've got to go away right now and I'll come back.
Okay.
Hello, it's me again. I am on the phone with my attorneys and I will not stand for this slander.
Ricky, you admitted it as much.
No, I don't know what you're talking with Dusty. Hold on. What hey, happy birthday, whatever voice I choose. My goodness.
There's been some we haven't seen in a while, to be honest.
Well, I mean, maybe you should help me tell me what I should do it as.
I was gonna say Ludwig Kaiser, but it feels like we haven't.
Yeah.
He's not doing.
No, he's not that thing anymore.
He's not that thing anymore. But
it's not. You know what? In honor of him being released, I think we should do it.
Giovanni Vinci.
Is Giovanni Vinci.
There it is.
My most accurate impression. Here we go.
Oh, by far.
Hey, happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear LaRon Ford's daughter, because he did not include her name in the super chat. So I don't know what your name is. I'm sorry. I try so hard to think of it, but I don't know. I don't want to upset you, but I'm going to say Mary. Happy birthday, dear Mary, or Sarah, or Sally, or whatever your name is. Happy birthday to you.
No notes. Perfect.
And the many amor.
Never has there been a more accurate impression of anything.
Grazie.
They could have just made him a part of the D'Angelo family instead of releasing him.
Oh my God, he'd be so good there.
He'd be great.
So yeah, we have one for next week, so that'll be good. That's a good one for next week. Anyway, guys, thanks so much for hanging out with us. We went long because, Sean came in and talked about Ricky Starks is now being the Revolution is televised in NXT on CW. The Revolution is televised on the CW.
The Revolution is televised Tuesday nights now. The Revolution takes place a different weekday at a different show.
It does. But other than that, we will see all of you some other time. Oh yeah, we got to do a Vengeance Day thing. I thought Vengeance Day was on Sunday because they usually do the NXT shows on Sundays. So I thought it was that we were getting Collision on Saturday and Vengeance Day on Sunday, but they're actually back to back.
They're back to back ski.
Yeah, so we're going to be doing a review of Vengeance Day while Collision is happening.
Oh, true. I'm glad that you pointed that out for several reasons.
Yes, I thought maybe that would be a good thing to point out to you because I know what your plans are on Saturday.
Well, it might actually be over by then. But I don't want to take that risk for the things that we have to do. But, is it starting at 7?
Yes, but...
Because isn't the Collision's not starting until 10, right?
10:30.
10:30.
10:30, maybe. So, with the way that we talk about things,
yeah,
we'll be to the halfway point of Collision before we're done talking about it. All right, goodbye, everybody, and we'll see you later. Keep cool, Gabagool.
Yeah.
Yeah.